Hello and welcome to the IND podcast. I'm your host, Dennis Dunicic. Before we begin, I want to remind you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join our growing international community. Now let's get into our main story, which concerns China, or more specifically, its zero-tolerance policy towards the COVID-19 virus. Now, interestingly enough, in the last few months, the Western world, and pretty much the rest of the world, seems to have slowly begun to forget about the COVID-19 pandemic, or at the very least due to the Omicron variant, which has been more spreadable, though significantly less deadly and less likely to cause serious symptoms. In addition to higher vaccination rates worldwide, many world governments and different countries have began to introduce less severe measures or pretty much take back their more restrictive measures, restrictions, or any kind of mandates related to the COVID-19 virus. In many countries, life has began to come back to normal or has even fully gone back to what life was in the pre-pandemic days. This is not the case in China. Now, notably, China has taken a zero-tolerance approach to COVID-19, something that the government of China has been doing since day one of the pandemic. What this policy means is that anytime a single case of the virus, doesn't matter what variant, is detected in any local community, neighborhood, or city, the entire area is put on a very restrictive lockdown. Now, this has happened today in the city of Changchun, one of China's largest cities, having a total of 9 million residents. Now, Changchun is located in China's northeastern Jilin province, and Changchun is most notable for being the center of China's auto industry. Now, because of a detection of 2 cases that occurred today and 78 cases that have been detected in the past few recent days in Changchun due to a COVID virus outbreak of the Omicron variant that began in China late last week, the city has been completely locked down. What this means is that residents of the city are forced to stay at home, having only one family member be allowed to venture out every 2 days to commit essential grocery shopping. All businesses that are deemed non-essential have been closed, and public transportation lines in, throughout, and outside going to other cities have been closed down. Now, this has been criticized as a very draconian approach, and it has also been executed in other Chinese cities as we are speaking right now. Most notably is the neighboring city to Changchun, Jilin, which has the same name of the province of Jilin that Changchun and Jilin are inside of. Now, the outbreak in the Jilin province is believed to have originated within Jilin city, specifically the city's university. Now, around 98 students or 98 cases were reported at the university, and the response of the university was heavily criticized. 6,000 students have been placed in quarantine, and aerial images have shown students lining up in hazmat suits waiting to be transported to undesignated quarantine zones. Now, the Chinese government has, as punishment for the fact that a virus even broke out in the university, fired several university staff. Now, the main purpose of this report and why we're talking about 2 extreme and severe lockdowns is as the rest of the world begins to take a major shift towards COVID-19 and begin to loosen measures because of democracy and giving people freedom after 2 years of being shut down, China is not doing so. It has taken and refuses to waver from its extremely draconian and ruthless stance towards what it views as the potential of eradicating the virus, which simply is not possible. COVID-19 has become endemic. It is something we're fundamentally going to have to live with from now on. Its variants are much less deadly than the initial variants that occurred at the beginning of the virus. In addition to this, we have modern technology that has helped us adapt to the virus, such as vaccines or mass testing that help us detect it. Now, China continues this approach for various reasons. Number one, primarily, what many people believe, including myself, is China is doing this to differentiate itself from the Western world, specifically the United States of America, which has taken a relatively lax stance towards COVID-19 as compared to other countries. So China has decided and determined to do the exact opposite by taking the strictest approach possible. Now, in addition to this, many believe that it is popular among the people of China. Though actually determine what is and isn't popular amongst the Chinese populace is very difficult, and any analysis based on that is dependent on CCP-produced media or information. Now, China's response, in my opinion, is absolutely too strict, and it's going to come with consequences. Once again, Changchun is the auto industry's heart in China. It is a major city for auto production in the entire industry itself. In addition to this, a city of 9 million people is economically important to the entire nation at hand. Shutting it down, as we have seen in other nations and all over the world during COVID, any lockdown can be economically detrimental. This lockdown is a mistake, especially considering it comes from only 78 cases. Now, across China in the last week and a half, 1,100 cases have been detected, which may seem like a lot, but when you consider it is the world's largest and most populated country, it's not that much. I personally believe that China needs to begin taking a more lax approach to the virus and begin looking at virus outbreaks with a more targeted approach that does not, in a blanketed way, cover every single resident of one city or one area. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you think the COVID-19 pandemic is actually beginning to become endemic and is essentially over. Let me know if you agree with China, disagree with them, whatever you think, let us know in the comments and let's have an open and productive discussion as always. Thanks for tuning in this week. I'll see you guys next week.